Hey everyone, welcome to the Oasis podcast. I'm your host, Miss AJ. Thanks for tuning in. An oasis is something that provides refuge, relief, or a pleasant contrast, and that is exactly what you will find tuning into the Oasis podcast. This is a space where I and special guests will be cultivating intentional and honest conversations about life's journey. Subscribe everywhere you listen to podcasts and watch us on YouTube now. Hey y'all, hey! Welcome back to another episode of the Oasis podcast. Thank you for joining me again. So how y'all doing? Well, I am well, and I hope you all have been enjoying the podcast and the episodes that I've been releasing. As you can see, your girl is on camera, and I feel good, and I look good, and I feel like I need to show the world. No, I'm playing. I'm not though. But no, I'm like, hey, let's play and fiddle faddle a little bit with some video content. So here I am. I know you guys haven't seen me in a while, but I am well. I finally feel like myself again in a lot of ways, and so I want to allow myself to shine. So today's things I've learned to be true. So before I even jump into that, I think the next few episodes we're going to be talking about and diving into dating, like I mentioned before. And so this is kind of like a precursor to all that. And today's episode of things I've learned to be true is you won't know until you know. This talks about breakups after birth. And I don't know about y'all, but I used to see patterns of people, and I'm talking about over the years of couples, they're together, they've been together for years. They, seemingly seem to be doing pretty well. They have a kid, and everything goes to shits. And I used to be like, damn, like what happened, right? Like, not necessarily equating it to the child itself, but also not, I don't know, right? You don't necessarily ask everyone, like, oh, what happened? Just they not together, like, all right, cool. As I got older, of course, I'm like, huh, of course the baby played a part in it, but not really understanding exactly how. Now I get it. Now I truly understand. And it definitely goes to that notion of like, you don't have a baby to keep a person, right? You don't have a baby to keep a relationship going. If the relationship already failing, don't have a baby because that ain't gonna save it. I think all of that falls under that umbrella, but I definitely understand it now. And I'm sure my story isn't much different than other people's, but I wanted to share this part of it to get some clarity, as to why I'm back in these dating streets. And also just giving some understanding as to why someone would choose singlehood as a parent versus staying and being in a relationship. And so if y'all see me looking down or to the side, I'm just looking at my notes because mommy brain still be mommying. Okay, that brain still be doing what it do. Okay, I'm a lot better, but I still need a little assistance. Okay, so I wanted to start off by saying that unfortunately, right, I know quite a few women who are single moms, and I think again because it's probably of society, you automatically think, oh man, that man left, right? Oh, type situation. And the truth is, especially the women that I know, that was not their story. But of course, it wasn't until after I went through my own thing. And then when you're chatting with them, they're like, oh, girl, you left too? Right? And I think that's that part of it that society doesn't even acknowledge or talk about. They always make it seem, oh, like you wasn't good enough. That's why that person left you and left you as a single mother. My guy, I chose to leave. Yeah. So people love to assume women became single mothers because they were left or abandoned. No, no, baby. Lots of us leave. Like, and sometimes we run. Okay? Run. Just, yeah. Because it just wasn't worth it, right? The struggle of single motherhood was better than whatever that person you was with was providing in the relationship. And I need that to sink in. All the things you hear about single motherhood and all the things you know about parenthood, times it by 10. And that's what single parents deal with. And now imagine that person is purposefully choosing that because what they had was worse. Exactly. Exactly. And in my story, again, people leave at different times during or after birth or after they have a child. In my story, I left soon after. I had inclinations to leave beforehand when I was still pregnant. But again, when it happens, you have a kid with somebody or you're going to have a kid with somebody, you try to do everything that you can to make it work. It could be you just are afraid what the other side looks like, or you really truly just really care about that person and you really do want to try, right? And like you want your child to have two parents in a two-parent household. And for me, it was a combination of both, but more so the latter. Like I really cared about the person. I really wanted it to work. Like I truly, in my heart of hearts, didn't foresee it happening because I would have never put myself in a situation if I thought it would. And so the turn of events was really like, all right, we can figure this out. Let's work on it. Let's work on it, right? And doing the therapies and all the things. And so coming to this conclusion wasn't like easy, it wasn't light. And it was also a portion of it was I'm done. I done got to this big old age. And like didn't choose to have kids because I didn't want to become a single mother. Right? Like I didn't, that's like something that I really my whole life was like, I don't want to do that because my mom was a single mom. And her situation, of course, circumstances were very different, but it's something that I saw. I was like, I want to do better. I want to choose something different. And again, when we say do better, as if she did something wrong. My mother didn't do anything wrong to become a single mom. Granted, she was married and my father was who he was, right? They have a whole story and that's a whole thing. So it was different circumstances. And she also tried her hardest and did what she could do. And she chose this was no longer something that was healthy and it was not healthy for her or for us to partake in. And she chose to do what she wanted to do, but it was not for the lack of trying. She tried. And for what I could remember, she tried a lot. Okay. And I think to her detriment, in truth. But as a child, you're seeing this and you're like, I just don't want to be in a circumstance. You don't understand everything because you don't have an adult's understanding. You just see like the back and forth and you see like, oh, this doesn't feel good. I don't want to do this. And not so much that I never blamed my mother for her single parentness, right? It was just like this is what it was. And as I got older, I started seeing my father's character and who he was, and I was like, yeah, mommy, good job. Good job. And so I never blamed her for it, but I also knew it was something like, okay, I'm going to try to do something different. And that's what I thought I was doing. So I, you know, really cared about this person because I would not have had a child with them if I didn't. If I didn't see a future with them, if I didn't see building a life with them. And so I'm like, all right, things are not the best, but let's figure it out. And so that's why, you know, I think midway through pregnancy in that mindset. And then I got midway through and I said, you know what? This isn't looking good. And in my spirit, I was like, this isn't feeling good. And before we got to like a really negative space, I was like, maybe I need to walk away from this. Against my better judgment, I did not. Against my better judgment, I let people talk me out of that decision. And again, that's for me to be accountable because I was grown.
Are you feeling overwhelmed by the demands of life, motherhood? At AJO Consulting Services, LLC, we offer comprehensive wellness services that include personalized coaching, doula care, consulting, and personal and professional development to help you navigate this beautiful yet challenging phase of life. Our services are designed to support individuals and communities, especially women, birthing people, and families of color, in creating a more joyful and stress-free experience. From family planning to postpartum care, we provide the tools and resources you need to thrive. Let AJO Consulting Services help you prioritize your well-being and create a healthier, happier future for yourself and your family.
And I could have made my own decisions. But at the same time, again, I didn't want to not be in a relationship because I truly did care about this person. But, I let people talk me out of it, which again, everything happens for a reason, but I should have listened to myself. And so then I stayed a little bit longer. So now, you know, get through the pregnancy, give birth. And so I ended up ending my relationship 2 months. No, it was shy of 2 months. So a little before 2 months of my daughter after my daughter was born. So a little less than 2 months postpartum. Now, that is a very hard time in the postpartum journey. So can you imagine you just gave birth to a little human? And especially my condition, you already know what I've been through. I don't know all this stuff, but this is what I'm going through. I find out, in like after the fact, after all the testing and stuff. But I have numbness because I became anemic. I've been bleeding jail because I had some placenta in me. My body was just like, get it out. I have and am losing weight drastically. I'm not hydrating well. I'm not eating well. Oh, and I'm recovering for postpartum preeclampsia. During this time span, I have been at death's doorstep on some realness. And I chose to do it solo dolo instead of staying in that relationship. So I want people to let that sink in. I chose to venture into the abyss of I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm probably gonna be doing this shit all by my goddamn self. Instead of choosing to stay with somebody who wasn't showing up for me in the way that I wanted. In their mind, I'm sure they think that they were, even though my words was telling them, here's what I need. They still weren't doing it because their brain hadn't clicked that you became a parent, your life cannot remain the same. Their brain is thinking, oh, but you the mom. So, I mean, you got it. I'll pop in as needed, or you tell me what to do. Sir, I only have one child. There's things you can do. And just the understanding of if you don't know what to do for the baby, all right, okay. But what about you loving up on me during this time? And that's where I was like, nah. Because I shouldn't still, at this point, after we've been in a relationship a couple of years, having to tell you, hey, show up for me like this and this and this and this. And you was still in a selfish mindset. So, in a self-centered mindset. Who got to, I- I'm holding on for dear life literally every day on some realness. And you think I'm going to choose to keep doing that? And I think that many people, not only my child's father, but many people were surprised that I made such a big decision during that time. And many people would think, oh, it's your hormones, whatever. Mm-mm. When I tell you it's not something that I truly thought I would do, it's true. When I tell you that I didn't think that this is the road we were going to go on, I mean it. It literally was after another failed couples therapy session. Because, like I said, I was trying. And even after the breakup, I kept trying. Because I'm like, oh, okay, we can work on this. We can get back together. That I sat down literally on my couch in the dark and I sat there and I was like, and after, I don't know, he said some other real selfish, self-centered thing. And I sat there was like, huh, no, uh-uh. And the voice, like, it was like something hit my spirit. Something just was like, baby girl, this ain't it. You will not survive if you keep this up. And I said, okay. Because I and my baby needed me. I needed me. And if the person that I was loving on couldn't see that, couldn't step out of themselves enough to see me and to love upon me, what are you holding on to? To not be a statistic, to not, oh, have to raise a baby on your own, to not what? To save face. None of those wasn't more important than my life and my child's happiness. Because how we were acting with each other, interacting, I didn't want my baby to see none of that. Mm-mm. I'd rather my baby see me with nobody than to see me loved incorrectly. And that's one thing that I got from my mom that I do respect her on. Of course, we encouraged her to date when we got older. But one thing she did not do is she did not have us after the relationship with my father, of course, because we did see that. And so we know, you know, even young as kids, we knew that that wasn't it. But she did not allow us to see her in anything that was detrimental at all. She didn't like date like that, to be honest. She never really brought people around like that until we got like I said, much older. And even in those times, the people she brought around were good dudes. And you can tell, and they were really into her. But again, we were much older. And so outside of the relationship with my father, the people that we saw, which I think at most was like one person or two people. And again, you probably seen them less than a handful of times, in all truth. They were treating her good. They was good to her. We saw her girly and in her feminine, you know what I mean? And that's one thing I was like, my daughter gonna see me love properly, or she's just not gonna see me with anybody. And I don't care who that person is. And this stretches across the board, whether it's her father, whether it's family members and friends. Nah. Mm-mm. She gonna be like, my mother was loved. My mother was adored. My mother was cared for, just like she will be loved, adored, and cared for. And so I stand on that. I'm not dating to just date. I'm not gonna find people just to find people. I'm not doing that. If it ain't what it is that I need and want, I'm not doing it. And so, of course, it wasn't, it was afterwards and sitting and processing that I got to that depth. But in that moment, I'm like, I'm not gonna survive staying in this relationship because this person is self-centered and they just keep thinking about themselves and how they feel and what they want in a situation, not understanding you are now a parent. You have to be selfless. And if you truly love somebody, this person literally knocking on death's doorstep to bring your child into this world, and you can't be like, yo, let me put this to the side for now until she's good, because I never was a person that ignored people's feelings. Mm-mm. Their needs, literally in a relationship, was almost front and center all the time. Almost, you know? And if you can't be like, all right, yo, she been riding with me. I've been dealing with these mental health issues, or I've been dealing with this work stuff, or I've been dealing with this family stuff, and she always had my back. And like she needs me right now. I got her. I shouldn't have to convince you of that. And I wasn't doing it. I wasn't convincing you. I'm gonna speak on stuff, and then after a while, I'm gonna go, okay. And not only if, again, if a baby wasn't in the mix, I would have left a long time ago, in truth. So I made that decision, and it wasn't an easy decision to make. It was tough. But that honestly, the hardest part for me was grappling with the notion that I was going to be a single mom. I showed up and showed out in that relationship. So I didn't have regrets about leaving the relationship, if that makes sense, because I know I did my best. But it was the notion of, oh gosh, damn, I spent all this fucking time not becoming somebody baby mom. God damn. Like, this is what it is now. That's what I grappled with the most. But I knew I was gonna put my big girl panties on and I was gonna do what I had to do. And the truth is, I truly thought we were gonna get back together. So I ended the relationship shy of 2 months. And it wasn't until I think but around 5.5 months-ish that my daughter was 5.5 months-ish that I was like, yeah, this relationship is over. So this is a stretch of time. We're broken up. I'm still showing up to these therapy sessions, talking, trying to work things out. I'm still showing up civilly. Like, I'm civil, like, yo, we're not together. That's fine. Let's co-parent. Let's find out where we misstep so we can treat each other better. And this person is upset that I broke up with them. That's just that I chose to step out of the relationship because they were not treating me right. Like, I should have stayed and dealt with it. And in truth, a lot of, in truth, in addition to this person, personal thoughts and behaviors, their people were also expecting me, seeing the bad behavior, seeing persons not showing up and expecting me, oh, that's just, girl, that's just how men, just take it. Have y'all not met me? And it can make, oh, the alternative is so much worse. Is it though?
Are you feeling overwhelmed by the demands of life, motherhood? At AJO Consulting Services, LLC, we offer comprehensive wellness services that include personalized coaching, doula care, consulting, and personal and professional development to help you navigate this beautiful yet challenging phase of life. Our services are designed to support individuals and communities, especially women, birthing people, and families of color, in creating a more joyful and stress-free experience. From family planning to postpartum care, we provide the tools and resources you need to thrive. Let AJO Consulting Services help you prioritize your well-being and create a healthier, happier future for yourself and your family.
And the truth is, they wanted me to make the same decisions that they made. Stay in mediocrity, not get what you need. You just get used to it. But at least you're not by yourself. And the sad reality of that is, those are some old school Caribbean heads. But I have people around me who also became moms around the time that I became moms, and some who, had children. Unfortunately, they were like doing the same thing in the sense of this dude is not showing up. I'm literally doing this by myself anyway, but I'm just with him. But they were too afraid to leave. Literally said those words. I'm not as brave as you. I'm not brave enough. I don't feel like I can do this by myself, even though they're not really being helped. But it's the idea of help. It's how it looks from the outside looking in. I don't want to be labeled as this thing, but within the relationship, there's literally borderline DV going on. That person is not holding up their weight financially. That person is dealing with addiction and not showing up. And if they're showing up, it's in a semi-violent way. That person is not carrying their weight for the child. That person is not even fully bonding with the child. The child has not bonded with them, but they rather stay because of the things I mentioned. And that's, in a way, I'm like, that's wild. But after becoming a parent and all that stuff, I I have more understanding for it, but I still think choosing single motherhood was easier. It's still way better. And I would stand on that. That's a hill I would die on. I'm gonna be honest with you. Am I saying for people go out here and choose it willy-nilly? Nah. If you have somebody who's showing up for you, all the things, why would you do that, right? And those who just can't find a partner but they want to have a child, that's their choice. Do it. Go ahead. But if you are in a situation that, of course, you didn't sign up, that's not how you thought it was gonna happen, and it's really detrimental to you, your health, your well-being, and your child's health and well-being at the end of the day, because your health and well-being as a mother directly impacts your child. If all those things are just negative and not like just not good, you are better off leaving. If it's safe to do, of course. Sometimes there are DV situations, there are situations where it's not safe. Of course, find a safe way, but when it is safe, do it. It's not worth it. And when I tell you, y'all, no lie, no exaggeration, when I made that final decision to be like, I'm not doing this, yeah, the relationship just not, it's not gonna be it. My mental health, my physical health just started getting better. I started feeling better. I started looking better emotionally. There are hard times physically too with a newborn when you was doing it mainly by yourself. Yeah, yeah, for sure. It improved even more so though when when I stopped literally forcing the person to co-parent healthily with me too. I let go of all of those chains. You don't want to show up? Okay. I'm not gonna, I'm not fussing. I'm not going back and forth with you. Okay. I got it anyway. And that was just what I had to say in my head. Instead of like, oh, I need you to show up here and this, and I need you to do this, and here's your this, and here's your that. You know you made a baby. You know your baby needs to be cared for every day. You have the time. You come in. Cool. Here you go. You don't come? Cool. I'm gonna handle it. I'm not doing back and forth with you. I'm not yelling. I'm not screaming. I'm not cussing. And the truth is, the more, one, the fact that I broke up with that person enraged them, right? Just like, you were supposed to stay with me. Yeah, I wasn't showing up, but you supposed to ride out with me until I did. No. And the more I was like, don't worry about it. I got it. Stop the fussing. Stop the going back and forth. Stop the, trying to make you included and like, here, bond. And no, do what you want to do. That's how you want to show up. Go on ahead. The more I started doing that, the more they got more aggressive, more like, and it makes you just wonder, right? The things being done, was it to just, it was really because you were incapable. Because I kept trying to, logically make it make sense. That's just the type of person I am. Oh, this person was capable. They didn't know, da da da, da. Making all the kind of excuses or trying to logically make it make sense. And I had came to the conclusion of, you know what? There's a lack of capability here. It's not my job to fix it. I'm just gonna go this way. And once I did that, but then as things started happening, realizing, is it a lack of capability? Or you just want to make me suffer? You just are mad, and so you are purposely not doing things because you think that's hurting me. And there were some things said literally in therapy in between this time that was like oh, you did that on purpose. Who you thought? Oh, and the truth is something about me, baby. is I always rise from the ashes. And I will never give people the satisfaction of seeing me crumble. There were times and nights I was holding on by a thread with a newborn baby. And I made it through by a prayer and only by my ancestors holding me up, literally, because I couldn't even hold myself up. I don't know how I made it through those nights. But if you thought you was going to deprive me of your time and your attention, your help, your support to hurt me so that I could run back to you, that was never happening. I was never doing that, and I haven't done it. So I get it now why people break up after a baby is born. People change. And there are, of course, some things that, might have been there before and people ignore. Fair. But I think there's a piece of it that people don't talk about of even you as a pregnant person, you are holding that baby, creating that life in you. You have the first hand, in the process. And that shit, when that baby's born, hits you like a ton of bricks. So I think there is an element of like, it don't feel real until it becomes real. And so I get that part. But I think people refuse to acknowledge that some people, some men, when shit becomes real, they change, they cower, they run, they hide. And that is why these relationships change and they don't change for the best or the better. And women leave. And they rather not be in a relationship than having to deal with just the nonsense because being a parent in itself is so much. Your life changes so much. There's so much grieving. There's so much emotion. There's so much, all the things. Your life is upside down for a good while. And you think now in your home that you're supposed to have peace and understanding. There's already something causing chaos. That little person is causing chaos. Now to add an extra layer of chaos, mm-mm, it's not worth it. And it was better, choosing single parenthood was better than being with that person and accepting less than you deserved. And that's the truth. And it just wasn't worth the energy anymore. It wasn't worth the time on energy. Because in truth, is the time and energy you be pouring into trying to get somebody to show up for you, show up for your child, to be an adult, to be a parent, and not just be someone who had a baby, not just do the photo ops, not just show out and show just to show the people, look at me, I'm doing the thing, I'm being an adult. And the minute they're gone, you just have extra liability. That time and energy could be poured into you and your child. So this is a PSA for anybody who's on the fence. The truth is, I would say I have no regrets in making this decision. None. Because my life has improved exponentially with my sanity, my peace, my joy, me and my daughter's relationship, exponentially better. It took time. Yes. It took some grieving. Absolutely. But it gave me clarity. And I was able to put in boundaries. I was able to see things for what it is. I was able to see and hear myself. I was able to really show up for my child. And I would say that I had no regrets, but the truth is, my only regret is that I didn't do it sooner. And mind you, I did it not even 2 months post having my baby. And there are people who years and then they decide. I couldn't imagine dealing with that for years. And then I wonder why women, you know, break down, why women are dying after giving birth. What is happening in that home? How are the people who are supposed to be showing up for her showing up or not showing up? What is she dealing with behind closed doors? But all the pressure, all the stuff goes on to the woman's back. And even when a man leaves, even when the relationship no longer is, the woman still gets blamed. Oh, they might get, oh, he's a deadbeat. And that's only if the person completely abandons their family and doesn't show up. But if he shows up this much, up, he still, that shit is ridiculous. But the showing up this much for the kid, but then making the mother's life a living hell. No one wants to address that. Only showing up so that you can keep tabs on mommy doesn't make sense. No one addresses that, but all the burden and stress goes on to that parent. Now imagine why would I choose to continue to endure something of that nature? Why would women do that? Why should they do that? Oh, you know, they need kids need both parents. Kid needs two healthy parents. Kid needs two consistent parents. Not one that wants to pop in when they want to, and not one that's going to make the process more difficult than it needs to be. And for those who are on the fence, of course, you have to weigh out your own situation, but I see you and I hear you. And I'm telling you, it's not as scary on the other side as you think it is. It's really not. It's really not. And for those of us single mothers by choice, don't let this rhetoric out here make you feel less than. You are a goddamn superhero. To be able to sustain yourself, your health, your well-being, and the life and lives you've created, as well as having to grieve and make peace with the story or the life you thought you was gonna have, and still not only survive, but you are thriving. You are making it happen every day. You are a goddamn superhero. Do not let anyone make you feel otherwise. And if they do, if they have something to say, that's their shit. That ain't got nothing to do with you. And for those of us, those single moms who are struggling, reach out for help. There's help out there. Join my support group.
Hey, Mama. Are you a single mom looking for a supportive community? Join our Mommy and Me group designed just for you and your little one. Connect with other single mothers, share experiences, and build lasting friendships in a welcoming and understanding environment. Our group offers a safe space for you to share the joys and challenges of single motherhood, find support and encouragement from women who get it, and discover resources to help you and your family thrive. Come as you are, find your village, and empower yourself on this incredible journey of motherhood. Join our next group now. We can't wait to welcome you and your little one. Ready to join our community? Learn more and sign up today on Eventbrite, on our website, www.AJO Consulting Services, or email me at info@ajoconsultingservices.com to register.
Join my mommy and me group. There's women out here going through what you're going through, and There are safe spaces for you to be you. There's resources out there. You don't have to do a lot of this stuff on your own, even if it's not with the person you thought it was going to be. Village is still out there. Curate that, create that for yourselves. I see you, I hear you, and you are loved. And those little people need you. Choose you, choose yourself. At the end of the day, not you're not the only one that's going to win. Your child will win as well. And the other parent, the other party, that's not your responsibility. It's not your responsibility to create the bridge. It's not your responsibility to fill the gap. Your responsibility is to show up as the parent you are, give the love you need to give. Everything else will fall into place. Till next time. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Oasis podcast. I hope you were able to find something that resonated with you on your journey. Don't forget to subscribe anywhere you listen to podcasts and YouTube. Rate us and leave us a review and comment on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, and YouTube. Share your favorite episode and like us on Instagram and Facebook. If you have any questions, comments, want to be a guest, or any show ideas, contact us at ajaysoasis@gmail.com. That's AAYJAYSOASIS@gmail.com, or direct message us on Instagram and Facebook.